Well, welcome back to Toronto.
Thank
It's
you.
great to have you here. And I just want to know why it took you so long to direct a film.
Well, I think there's a funny. It's having the confidence that I've managed to, I suppose, establish myself as an actor, and then there's this little voice inside me that says, "I maybe want to direct something." Well, how do I don't know. When am I going to have the guts to sort of step through the door and announce it? And actually, what happened was I became very good friends with the producer of The Constant Gardener, a man called Simon Channing Williams, who sadly is no longer with us. But he wanted to produce my first film as a director. But I think just getting to know him and talking, he intuited that there was this other little demon that wanted to direct inside me. And in fact, there was a script he had, a beautiful script that was actually set in northern Canada. In fact, I scouted locations around Hudson Bay and in Nunavut, and spent some time here for trying to push this film forward. In fact, we couldn't get it off the ground. It was difficult to finance, and then sadly Simon died later on. But that gave me the confidence, just going as a director, talking with, I met some, potential heads of department here actually in Toronto for the film, and even started tentatively trying to cast a young Inuit girl because it was the main character. And that never happened. But I put that other hat on, if you like,
Yes.
in that process. And I loved it, even at that very early stage. So I think that gave me the confidence. I'd always dreamt or thought Coriolanus could be an amazing film. It's supposedly, I'm not meant to use the word difficult, but it's textually very dense as a play. But actually, if you strip all that textual density away, you get this incredibly dynamic, searing, political, social, sort of tragic modern tale.
Yeah.
And John Logan I pitched it to him with sort of imagery of a modern context, and he leapt at it. He completely got what it could be.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant. As I say, it's just riveting from beginning to end. And I wanted to know from you, I mean, Rafe, not only, you direct and producing and everything, and you are in almost every scene in this film, and you're, as always, giving such a riveting, amazing performance. But how on earth do you do it and not go crazy at the end of the day?
Well, I really nearly did. I mean, I think I was lucky. I was supported by amazing people. I've been preparing it for a very, very long time. I've been back and forth to locations, had storyboarded and certainly thought through a lot of the scenes. And I suppose I just, it turned out okay, and who knows why. I mean, the first 4 days were the battle sequence. My first days ever directing was that battle sequence at the beginning, and of course it seemed daunting, but I just was determined not to fall behind. But so I just walked this location again exhaustively with the crew, just saying, we're here, we shoot them, we come up there's this shot, and we had a plan, and Barry's very good, and we had fantastic guys from the Serbian anti-terrorist unit who were brilliant because we had special effects and smoke and cameras, but these guys, the guy who was in command of them completely understood what was wanted. He was brilliantly alert to what we were trying to do, and would always say, that doesn't work, I don't believe that, we would do this. So it's just the luck, so much is luck of having a great team,
Yeah.
and the spirit of the team believing in the project and being there, and everyone doing their job and being alert to how things might change and changes of mind.
Does speaking Shakespeare now for you, you've done it so much and for so many years, but is it just now second nature for you? Because, a lot of actors can't deliver those lines or find it difficult, and you don't know what the heck they're saying. And as I was mentioning to you earlier, like when I watch you or a Vanessa Redgrave speak Shakespeare, it's like I'm just, listening to normal speak.
Well, I think it doesn't. I love it. I mean, it's a language I love. I love Shakespeare. I love what he does with English. And it's not old to me. It's like actually someone I think he also was reinventing. I think the thing is, people think it's old English. I think there are plenty of passages of Shakespeare which are very, very prose, very clear, incredibly simple. I actually think he's artistically being inventive with language in verse form. And I think his audience would have been, like, people want to see how great special effects are today, and people go online and criticise the special effects or they praise them. I think the conversation would be, did you see that speech, how he did this and that imagery, and they would have all had, they would be trying to detect references or wordplay or puns. And it would be dramatically moving and emotional. I think it would be thrilling to the ear. And I think the later plays, he got more and more inventive and dared things. In fact, Coriolanus, I think, is him taking big risks with stuff that actually is unintelligible. But when you sit down and look at it, he's trying stuff out. It's like an artist going, I'm going to try this one.
Yeah.
But anyway, you have to. Some of that doesn't work,
Right.
but some of it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a problem with people thinking, oh, it's an old way of speaking that doesn't mean anything anymore. I don't agree. I think it's actually English being reinvented in a way we've stopped engaging with.
Have you seen Roland Emmerich's Anonymous yet?
No.
What is your feeling? He is debunking the fact that Shakespeare did not write any of his, and it's a fascinating film. Don't
But
get me
what
wrong.
is the argument?
The argument is that Edward de Vere wrote everything.
But where is the proof? Where is the?
I'm just
where is
curious.
it?
There is no proof, but
I mean,
it's
but-
just the controversy, and the
Edward de Vere
Shakespearean
was the
god that you are to me. I want to know what you think
Edward
about
de
that.
Vere was the Earl of Oxford, wasn't he?
Yes.
I don't know what the actual sort of evidence is, but it seems to me, in my ignorance about it, that because the Shakespeare's plays are so extraordinarily rich and so informed by so many references to other parts of the world, like Italy, and so many classical allusions, it seems that they think only someone with money and a superior education who's well-travelled could write these plays. I say bollocks. I say an extremely gifted human being who reads, who engages, who has an extraordinary, unique imagination, has a gift, a divine gift, can write these plays. A young man from the provinces of central England, Stratford-on-Avon, who goes to a grammar school where people learn Latin, and they would say things were available, and he knew people like the Earl of Southampton. He could have read their books in their library. And I think I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I think there's enough evidence that there was a William Shakespeare who was. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And in the end, the plays stand as themselves.
Absolutely.
So am I meant to go to Hamlet now thinking, oh, how interesting, the Edward de Vere wrote Hamlet, and that really makes me respond differently to be or not to be, because it was written by Edward de Vere. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I can see that it's a fun ball to run with if you want to make a movie or a story, and I respect that completely, because it's it's provocative, which is good, but
I'm dying for you to see it. I am dying for you to see it. Quickly, I have a couple things coming up, and I do have to ask you, we are going to see you return as Hades in Clash of the Titans 2.
Yeah.
Okay, is it just so much more fun for you to be the bad guy? Because you will forever be known as Voldemort. You were, awesome, but Harry Potter fans, seriously, if there could be 8 more movies, they would want them,
Yeah.
So to play somebody like Hades must be just so much fun.
Well, we're
for you.
trying to give, in this next installment, Hades, we see him being less of a bad guy. There's a shift of character, a shift of motivation. So I think he redeems himself.
And so you have some nice one-on-ones with Sam Worthington?
No, actually, I have very few, maybe one moment. But the great pleasure of playing Hades more so was that Liam and I had more time, more scenes together, which was fun.
Oh, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And you've been cast in the new Bond film.
Well, I haven't yet. I mean, there's noises and there's movers and shakers trying to make it happen, but there's nothing is signed off on.
Okay, well, my fingers are crossed.
Okay.
I do have to ask you about Vanessa Redgrave, because, like I said, she's just unbelievable. When you have those one-on-one scenes, especially closer to the end of the film, when she, as your mother, I was in tears. I mean, how do you get through some of these scenes and not break out, or do you?
I know I did. I mean, I found that last scene. I mean, I had to. For me, the whole play leads to, in the end, the sort of epicenter of Coriolanus is a mother and a son. I mean, this sort of primitive, primal, umbilical thing is where it all ends up. and it was very personal to me at that level. But she was accessing something. I mean, she's a great spirit, Vanessa. I mean, she seems to be sort of resonating with something very ancient that runs through her. I don't know what it is, but it's a spirit that has some very profound root. And she's, and so when she starts, as you were saying earlier, she allows the language to sort of come through in such a natural, organic way. But when she first was in a rehearsal in Belgrade, she started to say these lines. I got very emotional. I mean, I think it was partly because I had been working so long to make this thing happen. At last, I had one of the greatest actresses ever, but also a woman who I have huge respect and great affection for. But suddenly there she was saying these lines. And I knew these scenes inside out. I had done it on stage. But to finally think, and then she said these lines, and we were rehearsing the scene in the middle of the film where she persuades me, Coriolanus, to go and talk to the people. And I suddenly found myself getting extremely emotional, and again I couldn't afford to lose my even temper in the last scene, but she was doing something. She did something extraordinary in that last scene. I mean, I think I didn't. That was all her. I mean, I think I wanted to give her, I suppose, the space to find out how she wanted to pitch it, trusting that you want to give Vanessa an arena where she says, I think I'll do it like this, and unless it's. I mean, she's very brave. She often will come up with quite unusual approach to things, and sometimes they're great, but they might sort of, you want to have another option in case it doesn't quite land. But what you get is someone continually inventing, continually exploring and taking a risk. But in that last scene that you're talking about, it's a scene where often it can be quite formal and that it can be. It's all about distance, but the great breakthrough, which really came from her, was that I said, I think I'm sitting here, and you come in. Where would you like? Then she has to kneel, and it's in the script she kneels. And I suggested a space, maybe where your distance, where you are from me. She said, no, I think I want to come in very close. I said, okay, and then she did this amazing. She came in, she just knelt, and then she puts her hand on my knees. And just looks, and then she started talking. And suddenly, I knew it was. She went to another level. And it was just the way a mother looks right at her son, right into him.
Just giving me goosebumps there, Rafe. I'm telling you. Quickly, I have to ask you. I hope you and Jerry Butler didn't hurt each other too bad in that fight scene.
A few bruises. Mainly, I think, not from each other, but from the hard marble floor we were fighting on.
He was excellent too.
He's wonderful in it, Jerry. He has one of the most important speeches, which maybe on a first hearing you didn't get, but I mean, he's in the tent scene where he's thinking about Coriolanus, and he actually has the speech which is sort of, in a way, the one fire drives out one fire, one nail. He does that brilliantly. He's so simple, his delivery, and really beautiful. I really am blown away by him.
Well, I'm just blown away by like I said, you're not only one of my favorite actors, but you're now one of my favorite directors. Honest to God, I really hope that you will continue to do this.
Thank you. I
so
will.
Please,
You've
got to promise me.
I promise
we'll
you.
see you back at TIFF.
You will.
Directing again.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
To
Great talking to you.
Very, very much.